Welcome back into the Sports Source, this segment of our show brought to you by Safety Systems. Folks, are you preparing to build a new home? If so, make sure your builder, Benedict Construction, call Safety Systems. Completely automate your home from the get-go. Security, lights, audio-visual equipment, all controlled from a phone or tablet. Safety Systems. Okay, easy segment, guys, quick segment. I want to know, what is the biggest threat to Tennessee's East Division Championship? Is it Florida, who won last year and was 10-4 and has beaten you for a decade? Georgia, who was 10-3 last year, got a new coach, but that's a talented roster. Injuries always play a role. Is Tennessee deep enough where it needs to be to get through injuries? Or is it coaching? A lot of people look back at those blown leads last year and say, that's what I'm concerned about. What's the biggest threat to Tennessee winning the East?
I'll go first and take injuries, and maybe even Cavaliers the question with injuries/suspensions. I mean, when you look at the loss last year of Pig Howard, Von Pearson, when you look at Majit, even at Galden, I think cost them at least one, possibly two games. I think Tennessee, especially with the incoming class, has enough talent, but injuries, key injuries, I think is the biggest factor to keep this team from winning the East.
Okay, Chuck goes lost bodies. He Cavaliers did. We'll just put his lost bodies. What do you got?
Yeah, I'll go injuries too, but I think it's close. I think there's 1A, 1B, and 1C, and I think they're all very close. But
all right, what do you got? You can't just tease us with that.
No, injury. I'd say injuries 1. I'd say Florida 2, Georgia 3, and then coaches 4. I still need to see how this team is coached in critical situations, in big games, if they have a lead against Florida or Alabama. So I'm not going to discount that being an issue, but injuries at key positions, that could really derail them, especially at quarterback.
That's why I put it in there. Let everybody have their say. Mike?
Florida. I'm not very smart. I'm not a visionary, but I can look at the past and know what's happened the last 10 years, and teams Florida had no business beating Tennessee have, and I just got to see it to believe it.
I say injuries, and I say it ahead of, and this kind of does sound crazy when I say it out loud and listen to Mike, but I say injuries ahead of Georgia, because Georgia kind of reminds me of Florida a year ago. First-year coach, you kind of start writing them off. It's also right after the Florida game. What if you do finally get that win against Florida for the first time in 12 years? You're riding high. You think, okay, we'll just go beat this Georgia team that's not great at quarterback, and they have a first-year coach. Easier said than done because they do have players down there.
I'll go with injuries, even though I think there is a question on all of them. I've put coaching last, but I will go injuries specifically to one. If Dobbs gets hurt, that's a huge hit, but I think Quentin Dormity's could pick up, okay? I think he could step in. If you lose Hurd, you got Kamara and Kelly. If you lose Kamara, you got Hurd and Kelly. Okay. That'd be big, but you could live with it. Sutton, you could live with it. Jalen Reeves-Maven, because you got Kirkland. And in terms of proven out there every day linebacker in the SEC, I haven't seen many guys other than Kirkland and Reeves-Maven. So that Reeves-Maven to me is key on that injury front. All right, when we come back, rags to riches stories in Tennessee sports history. Are we seeing the biggest one in recent history? Come on back on the Sports Source.